2 more minutes. Thank you all for being patient. We want to make sure that everybody gets situated into the webinar before we start. For many of you on the line, this is really foreign to me. Our pay it forwards, as we'll discuss in a second, it's hard not to see you all moving to your seats to start lunch. So this is definitely a new experience for us all. We're going to go ahead and get started. And I'd really like to welcome you to Pay It Forward Fall 2020. I'm Mendy Laval, and on behalf of Fresno State, the Lyles Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, and the Career Development Center, thank you for joining us for our first ever Pay It Forward Zoom webinar. As many of you know, the Pay It Forward Forum was established in 2016 to provide an interdisciplinary opportunity for all students at Fresno State to be able to connect with our community professionals on a regular basis. We really didn't know at the time what that was going to become, but over the last nearly 5 years, we've created a luncheon forum that meets 3 times a semester and always has a balance between community members and students so that we can have meaningful, impactful networking and dialogue between community members and our student body. Additionally, we bring on speakers at each session, and those speakers always have a connection, some type of roots to our Central Valley. And our goal is there to inspire our students and hopefully allow them to think about things differently and hopefully in a new light. We meet in the Satellite Student Union typically. It is the largest place on campus where we can actually have a sit-down lunch. We, as I mentioned, try to balance the attendees between community professionals and students because we want those students to sit by design between community members. And since we started in actually the SMIC Camp Alumni House, now in the Satellite Student Union, we average around 275 attendees per event. Due to the potential spread of COVID-19, unfortunately, our March 13th Pay It Forward event, Life, Leadership, and Legacy, a panel of wonderful local leaders, had to be canceled. This was a sold-out event. We had over 300 people signed up for this event. And needless to say, there was great disappointment by everybody, both the speakers as well as the Pay It Forward team, and certainly the community. However, all was not lost. Thanks to the panelists' flexibility and entrepreneurial mindset, we created a video series including individual interviews with each speaker. The video library can be found on the Lyles Center for Innovation and Entrepreneurship's website. Really easy to access. And I'd like to shout out a special thanks to Helen Hansen, Octavia Diener, Claude Laval, John Horstman, Bud Richter, and Fred Reese, those panelists and those speakers who really made this happen. They're great interviews, and I invite you all to visit the Lyles Center site and download the videos at your convenience. They're terrific. So over the summer, we kept on thinking, what are we going to do about Pay It Forward in the fall? We were, when Fresno State actually had to divert to online teaching in the spring, and no one was allowed on campus because of COVID, we knew we were up for a big challenge. And we soon learned that not only fall 2020 we would not be able to meet in person, but shortly thereafter we learned that also spring 2021 will have to be remote as well. Despite this, the team of Pay It Forward really felt compelled to continue to move forward somehow. We knew it would look differently and probably not meet our overall goals to bring the community and students together, but we felt it was needed to try very hard to be adaptive and face this new interim reality that we are all facing. With this in mind, we've created what I think today is an incredible webinar, and will be valuable not only to the students, but also to our community members. Before I introduce our speakers, a couple things. I'd like to really shout out to the students. We have over 130 students, both from Fresno State as well as Fresno City College today. Thank you for choosing to be with us. Thank you to the faculty at both University and Fresno City College for encouraging your students to attend today's important webinar. I really believe that it will be meaningful and very current information. And most of all, thank you to those community members that keep on supporting this program. I look forward to seeing you all in person when we can all be together for sure in fall 2021. And until then, hopefully during these series of webinars that we hope to put on. The other announcement I'd like to make is about the clothing closet. Those of you who have been to Pay It Forward before, community members especially, know that we have supported the clothing closet since we started this program. It was about the same time frame that the clothing closet opened at Fresno State, both in 2016. And it's a really important feature and it provides great service to all students at Fresno State. It is filled with gently used professional clothing for men and women, including shoes and jewelry and accessories, all sizes. And the students can go into the clothing closet prior to an interview, an internship, or beginning their first job, and really feel professional and ready to enter into that next part of their journey. Unfortunately, the clothing closet, because of the current state of affairs with COVID, has to have closed and will not reopen until after the university can open. Well, you can bet at that time, then there is going to be great need by our students to access the clothing closet. And so what I'm going to ask, although we cannot bring typically we ask our community members for Pay It Forward to bring their donations to our events, and we make sure that it gets over to the clothing closet. Because of this current situation, I would like to ask that you just put aside those things, keep gathering them if you can, and we will let you know the moment we can make it over to the clothing closet and the university is open, so that we can make sure that those racks and those shelves stay full. At this point, I'd like to introduce you to our two speakers today. The first one that I'd like to introduce is Debbie Young. Debbie has served Fresno State and its students for nearly 32 years. She has made a significant impact on the journey of thousands of students during their undergraduate years, as they have taken the journey to get them through the university and post-graduation success. Debbie has held a number of important positions during her 3 decades at the university. First of all, she was a full-time lecturer in the Craig School of Business in the Management Department. She has helped thousands of students land academic internships as the director of the Office of Student and Professional Development. And since 2015 has served as the director of the Career Development Center. Under her leadership, she has created an excellent team that provides critical services to the students as they prepare for their life post-graduation. Debbie has been a personal inspiration to me for the years, and her energy and enthusiasm to our students' success is contagious. She is a collaborator, an innovator, my go-to resource, and a very good friend. I would then like to introduce to you Damian Lay. Damian is the Employer Connection Specialist at the Career Development Center. He works with employers, big and small, to recruit students from Fresno State. If you're out there and have never had an opportunity to meet Damian and are a community professional, please don't hesitate to reach out to Damian after this presentation, because I know that he wants to meet you. He was originally from Chicago, and he graduated from the University of Illinois with a degree in biology, where he also worked for the Career Services upon graduation. I think he might have left biology behind because it seems that he's found his home in career development and career services. Prior to joining the team here at Fresno State, he worked in an engineering firm here in Fresno, as well as in the private sector in higher education consulting. It is my great pleasure to introduce both Debbie and Damian, who are going to take over this webinar and provide us with some much needed information regarding life today with COVID and beyond. Thank you too.
Thank you, Mendy, for that great introduction. And we're super excited to be here today. Damian and I have done this presentation another time on campus, but it's super exciting today to have 3 different audiences. We have, well, actually 4: faculty, staff, students, and our community members. And there is a common tie between all of those when it comes to career development. Students are looking for jobs. Often they'll go to faculty and staff for advice. And certainly our wonderful community partners provide us with those jobs, full-time, part-time, and internships that are super critical to student success at Fresno State. So before we continue, I'd like you to meet the team at the Career Development Center at Fresno State. Damian, if we could have the next slide.
Debbie, do you want to do the poll?
Yeah, I'm going to do it right after this one.
Okay.
Yeah, so I want you to meet our counselors and advisors and all of our staff. So you know Damian already. He's our employer connections specialist. We call this our Brady Bunch picture from this summer, but I wanted everyone to see, especially the students in the audience, who the advisors are that you might reach out to. Sheila is from the College of Social Sciences. She also helps with on-campus employment. Mary is from the Jordan College, and she also helps with internships. Jody is also online today to answer questions. She's with the College of Arts and Humanities, with Kremen, and also with Undeclareds. Nora is from the College of Health and Human Services. Alita also is online today to answer questions. She is serving the Lyles College. Audrey serves in our Career Cafe. Adrian is from the School of Business and also helps with money management. And then Daniel is the College of Science and Math, and he will soon be taking over for Alita, who's retiring next week. So he'll be our STEAM. He'll also take engineering, science, and mathematics. So these are the people that you would actually meet with virtually in our office that can help you with any career planning or career decision making that you have. So now we'd kind of like to know who you are. So Damian's going to launch a poll for us today to kind of get just some quick interaction on who you are. So if you could let us know today, are you a student, are you faculty, staff, or are you a community member? If you could click on one of the 3 from your screen or from your phone, whatever you're using. Are you a student, are you staff, are you faculty, or are you a community member? There is well over 100 of you attending today, and we're super excited about that. And then for those of you that are students, we would like to know where you're at in your career journey. Are you currently looking for a job? Are you graduating this December? Are you graduating in May, coming up, May of 2021? Are you looking for an internship? I'm looking for work while I'm in school, either full-time, part-time. We know that the vast majority of our students work while going to school. I'm a community member. I guess a community member can answer this as well. I'm a community member looking for a full-time position. No, I'm not currently looking for a job. So if everyone could answer that question, probably not as much for faculty and staff, but our community members and our students, if you could let us know your current status, that would be great. Okay, and let's see what our poll shows. So 85% today are students. We have 11% of you are faculty and staff, and we have some community members, about 9%. And then interestingly, a few are graduating in December, a lot more in May. 21% of our students today are looking in May, which is great because the job outlook is really going to be good for you to hear about today. 22% are looking for an internship, 11% looking for work while they're in school. Some of our community members are looking to fill full-time positions. And then about 41% are not currently looking for a job. So there's students here just to look at the future and what the job market looks like. Great, thank you. That helps us a lot. So we have a nice mix. The majority is our students, and that's really kind of who our presentation is geared for today. So you've met our staff. I wonder how many of you in the audience that our students are feeling like this right now. There's a road in front of you, but at the end of that road, there's a question mark. And I think we're hearing from a lot of students kind of the fear and anxiety with COVID, that things are very uncertain. And I know for us in the Career Center, I'm going to be perfectly honest with you, and I said this to Mendy, is I feel like there's a bullseye in the middle of the wall, and every time I throw a dart, it lands somewhere else. I mean, literally, unemployment numbers are changing daily, job postings, the whole market is really being shifted, and really Damian and I kind of struggle keeping up on a week-to-week basis on all the changes. Kind of futuristically thinking though, I've watched a couple of webinars. It's kind of nice virtually now to have access to so much information via webinars. And I watched one a couple of weeks ago about the future of work, and here's some perspective to give the future of work. The first person in the United States has already been born who will live to be 150 years old. Wow, I was shocked by that.
Gosh.
Yeah, it's almost mind-boggling. And if that person lives to be 150, their career span will be 75 to 80 years. They'll have an 80-year career. Another thing I heard last week on another webinar, The Future of Work, put on by the state of California, was that in your lifetime, brand new students, in your lifetime, you will have 17 jobs now in 7 different industries in your lifetime. While your major, here's Damian, he was a biology major. I was a pre-med major and did science as well. We're both science majors, how funny. Are we doing science? Yes, we're doing the science of career development. So we're doing science, but we're not doing it in I was microbiology and he was biology. So yes, we're not using microscopes and looking at cells and things and animals and humans, but we kind of are because we deal with human behavior every day. So I guess kind of we are scientists, huh, Damian? So the future is uncertain, but hopefully today we can relax some of your fears. I think, next slide, I think what you're all hearing is the unemployment numbers. And that's the scary part, because the unemployment numbers are higher than they've ever been since World War II. And that's a scary thing. And we hear about lines of people gathering, unemployment claims and the lines of people for food and housing. So I'm not going to lie, it's a scary time, but I want to reassure you a couple of things. If we could go to the next slide and actually look at the unemployment rates. So as of last week, Friday, this is brand new data. As of last week, Friday, the unemployment rate in the United States dropped to 8.5%. It has gone as high as 14.5. A year ago, though, it was 3.6. But notice during the recession of 2010, in that period, it was 9.6. For California, it's at 11.6. A year ago, it was 4.0. During the recession, it was 12. And Fresno County is interesting. Right now, it's 10.9. A year ago, it was 6.5. But look where it was in the recession. It was 16.9. So we have a lower unemployment rate today than we did in the recession of 2010. And I'm here to say that we survived the recession of 2010. I know that a couple of people in my office, some of us that are a little bit older, I was sharing with a group of students, I've been through many recessions in my lifetime. I have been laid off twice in my life, no, 3 times in my life, in my career, and I have lived through furloughs as well. So I'm here to say, you too shall survive this, and it's gonna be okay, but it is gonna be a little painful. So we're gonna give you some tips today to help you through this pain that you're feeling and uncertainty. I do want you to note that I also have up here, notice that Los Angeles, their unemployment rate is super high. They're almost double Fresno. Damian, can you tell us why? Why does LA have such a high unemployment rate?
It probably has a lot to do with because the tourist industry is down right now. A lot of restaurant industry is also down. The service industry has really been hard hit. And I think with LA, that's why we're seeing that number. And comparatively, when we look at San Francisco and Santa Clara, the unemployment rate is not as high because they also have the tech industry. And right now, companies like Zoom is definitely on a hiring spree. So that's why we're seeing, the difference in the number.
Yeah, that's exactly right. And we're going to talk a little bit about the geographic market. And this is where students in the audience, when you come in and see a career counselor, this is the kind of data we're going to look at your major and potential careers. And we're going to talk to you about geographic locations. So let's look at the next slide, Damian. I don't know how many of you know community partners and faculty and staff, but our office actually conducts an outcomes survey, and we've done this now for 3 years. We ask students when they're graduating some questions. We ask them again at 3 months, 6 months, and 12 months, because what we do find is students tend not to find jobs right away. So we ask students at the 3-month mark, and I actually have up here the data from May of 18, May of 19, and May of 20. These are all recent grads from all the 8 colleges, and this is the cumulative numbers for Fresno State. At the 3-month mark in May of 2018, about 36% were working full-time. Notice in May of 2020, it's pretty similar. So we know that it takes a lot of times more than 3 months to find a job. What is concerning though is the unemployment rate. May of 2018, 16% of our new grads were unemployed and still seeking. This May, that number went up to 26%, which is definitely showing the COVID economy. They have been impacted. What is also interesting to note though is for all the last 3 years, when we ask students, when you do look for employment, where are you looking? Almost 70% of our students stay near their hometown, and almost 30% stay near Fresno State. I know that Dr. Castro also has data that he often shares on this, and we tend to see that 85 to 90% of our students after graduation stay in the 5-county region. That's important when it comes to the job search and job outlook, and we'll be alluding to that later on in our presentation. So let's take a look at specific areas. We're not going to focus on the national level because our students don't move nationally after graduation. They really stay in our area. But I wanted you to kind of look at how COVID has impacted the state of California. The first column is month over changes from June of 2020 to July of 2020. I don't have the September data yet because it usually lags a little bit. And then the year over changes and the total payroll of jobs. That year over change, every single arrow is pointing downward. So there's no industry. I mean, people think, oh, COVID, healthcare, they're hiring like crazy. That isn't necessarily true. We've seen some comebacks. So in that first month over month change where you see the arrow going upward, you're seeing some increases in hiring again. But let's just look at, for example, in leisure and hospitality, from a year ago, 619,000, almost 620,000 jobs have been lost. In the first column, it's showing, oh, but you gained some jobs, but look at the gain is only about 6,000 out of 600,000 jobs lost. So we're starting to notice some recovery happening in the job market, which is really, really good. But the recovery is slow. And I think we'll continue to see some recovering. If there is a COVID resurge, as public health is predicting, we're going to see these numbers bounce around again. Even in the tech industry, everyone thinks, oh, everything's high tech and there's jobs there. You'll notice that even in the tech industry, there were losses, not as great as in leisure and hospitality. But even information lost 45,000 jobs and they've gained about 600 back, and that is at the state level. So I'm going to have Damian now zoom down into the Fresno County level. What's it looking like at the Fresno County level? And this is from EDD, the Economic Development Department.
Yeah, so I think one thing that we are definitely noticing is that industries are hiring and laying off at the same time. So if you think of the example that Debbie gave about healthcare, yes, there are hiring. They are hiring, especially in the emergency services like ambulatory health and those things like that. But we are also seeing layoffs, and the reason for that is because a lot of elective procedures, elective healthcare services are not provided right now because of the pandemic. And so therefore you're seeing layoffs in that area, but also hiring in another area of the same industry. And what we're definitely seeing is a lot of job postings in the general merchandise stores. So that would be your Target, Walmart, grocery stores, and things like that. And the reason for that is these stores have to provide extra services with cleaning, with making sure the store is safe to operate. So we're definitely seeing an increase in job posting. Real estate, it's really a hot housing market right now. And part of the reason for that is most people are working from home or working remotely, and they're able to move, and they're looking for housing in an area where it's least expensive than where they are working. And so we are seeing a lot of job postings in the real estate area, and a little bit related to that, then we see mortgage, financial services, and things like that. Another area that we see a lot is in the federal government, not as much in the state government, but local government, Fresno County, city of Fresno, and also federal government. They are continuing to hire a lot. And also, of course, in our area, this is not on this slide, but we are seeing a lot of agriculture as well. Agricultural companies in that industry are hiring as well.
There's still a lot of winemaking going on, we're finding out, which is kind of funny. And there's all kinds of majors that can be hired in the wine industry, by the way. My son is a biology major from Fresno State, and he's actually a chemist at a winery on the Central Coast. So ag industry is there. People still need food in recessions and downtimes. So that's very interesting. The other thing is Damian got a call last week with Amazon and delivery. There's a lot of part-time jobs right now for delivery services. Do you realize delivery services have increased 400% since COVID? And Fresno State students, they're paying $18 an hour. So Damian's gonna talk in a bit about where you can look for those jobs. If you're looking for a part-time job, delivery service works with college education. So if you really need a part-time job, there's some really good opportunities there. Now, I have a slide I want to show you next. There is some really good news, and I know that our cabinet at Fresno State refers to this a lot. The Public Policy Institute of California is predicting that by the year 2030, California is going to face a shortage of 1 million college-level graduates. And the good news for college graduates is you tend to have lower unemployment rates, you have higher wages, and the reason that they're looking for, we're going to talk in a bit about machine language and artificial intelligence and how that's impacting the workplace, but we still need people that think and that have human skills, and college students tend to possess those higher level critical judgment thinking types of skills. So I'm hoping, despite this, reading about the job losses, this is the slide you need to focus on as a college student. Finish your degree, stay at Fresno State, finish your degree, graduate from college, because you will be very employable in the future. And I want you to remember that and to stay strong through this and really finish that degree. It's going to make a huge difference in your life. So next slide, let's take a look at, so what's going to happen, with COVID and after COVID, what's going to happen with the job market? Well, there's several different theories, and this one we already know is working. COVID created tele everything. We're doing it right now, right? There's telemedicine. Anybody see your doctor on Zoom lately? We all have, right? They don't want us to come in the office. We're Zooming our doctors now. Unbelievable. We're tele-educating. We've been doing that for a while. We're certainly telecommuting. Fresno State, many of us have been working home since March, and we continue to for the next academic year. And we're doing lots of tele-shopping. I'm noticing in my neighbor's recycle bins how many Amazon boxes. It's like a competition who has the most Amazon boxes in our recycle bins, right? Because we're all buying on Amazon. I'm getting Amazon packages every day, right? But what it's done, it's created jobs. So for example, with tele-education, there's now a huge surge for Zoom support specialists. We've all had issues with Zoom. With COVID-19 and telemedicine, we now have contact tracing for public health that never existed before. For education online, parents are getting frustrated doing all the tutoring and teaching their children at home, that they're now hiring, they're called neighborhood pod tutors, where parents are banding together in neighborhoods and bringing in tutors to teach a neighborhood of children, like extra tutoring for math or for foreign language or something like that. So we have noticed, Damian and I, in some of the new positions posted on like Indeed or Glassdoor, some of the places that we go to often, we've seen some brand new positions. In addition to that, next slide. This one was yours, Damian. So Damian was going to go over where he's seen some surges according to Glassdoor in hiring as well.
Yeah, so for part of my job, what I do every day for a couple hours is just browse through job postings and job listings. Glassdoor is a wonderful resource that you can use if you're looking for a job. And from Glassdoor, so then this is all current data because it's pulling current postings. We're seeing hiring surges in these different areas. So software, sales and retail, customer service, financial services, financial planning. We're seeing a surge of that because partly because baby boomers are starting to retire and there are a lot more need for that kind of area. Health-related scientific research, that all has to do with the pandemic that we're in. One thing that we're definitely noticing a lot, this is across all industries, is market research and analytics. So if you have a math degree, if you have a stats degree, you will be very employable. There are all different industries, from healthcare to ag to engineering. They're all hiring market research and analytics. Manufacturing, we're still seeing that across the board. And then also definitely very important is the transportation and logistics industry that keeps everything going right now. It's definitely an essential service. So we're seeing hiring surges in those areas.
Thank you, Damian. So in addition, we can go to the next slide. We use the Bureau of Labor Statistics and EDD specifically for Fresno County and other counties in California. However, that data lags a lot. So we also use marketing analytics firms. Two of them that I love are Burning Glass, and the other is called EMSI. And what they do is they look at millions of job descriptions every single week, and they pull out skill sets, and they are starting to trend industries that are doing the hiring. And this is a recent study that was done by Burning Glass about what's going to happen COVID and beyond. And they believe jobs that are going to be readily available for all you grads coming out will be the readiness economy, because we don't want to face a pandemic again and not be ready like we were this time. It's going to create brand new jobs in healthcare, infrastructure. Cybersecurity is a hot button. Damian and I just attended a cybersecurity convening, and the number of jobs in cybersecurity coming forward are going to be phenomenal. Environmental technology and insurance are all part of the readiness economy. So those are industries, students, to start doing some research in. The remote economy, we're already living it with data and software dependence. We know that with Zoom and a whole bunch of technology companies. Diversification, we all heard the news stories. We don't have enough PPE. We're short on pharmaceuticals. Where's all of our pharmaceuticals that we need to battle COVID-19? And should we be producing everything abroad, or should we bring it back? So there's a lot of discussion right now at the government level of reshoring, advanced manufacturing. We're going to need more distribution and logistics, transportation, supply chain. Those will be industries to be watching for. The whole automated economy, we're going to cover another slide with that. So students, if you want to start thinking about industries to go in, there's the future of where the jobs are going to be. You might want to come in and see one of our career counselors and have a discussion about that. So next, Damian, first of all, let me ask Sheila or Jody or Alita, do we have any questions that we need to address? My question ranger's out on the chat line.
Not at this time, Debbie. We've been bringing them online.
Yay, super. Thank you. Appreciate that. We've got 3 people watching Q&A and chat, and they're doing a phenomenal job. So next, Damian is going to go over jobs that are in highest demand, and we're going to kind of focus today on bachelor's degrees. We're not going to get into masters and doctorates. We're going to really focus on bachelor's degrees. So Damian.
So as we are looking through different job postings, and so Indeed.com, which is another website where you can look for jobs, they pulled data together and shows some of the most in-demand jobs that require a bachelor's degree. And no surprise, the most in-demand job will be nurses. There will be more than 15,000 jobs per million people in our country in the future. So, or currently, this is current job postings. Sales representatives, there's a huge need. There's also, general manager, insurance agents, nurses, again, real estate agents, physical therapists, engineers, software developers, and these are some of the most in-demand, high-paying jobs that require a bachelor's degree. So this is on a national level, not just in California or Fresno County. Next, if we look at trends in terms of what kind of jobs are growing in terms of numbers of jobs growing the fastest. This is also from the Bureau of Labor Statistics. So some of these jobs here do not require a bachelor's degree. But if you look at the bold, the items in bold, those are the jobs that will be needed. So with a bachelor's degree, so you can see information security analyst, so that's in the cybersecurity area, there will be a 32% growth rate. Statisticians, so there will be a 31% growth rate. Health specialties, teachers, the 23%. And this list continues. If you look at, there are software developers, there are research analysts, there's some mathematical science, there's even airline pilots. Let's see. Never mind. Actually, this is from the Fresno County. This is from Fresno County that require a bachelor's degree in the next. Let's see. Actually, this is in a 10-year period. So total number of jobs that are hiring with the highest growth in Fresno County that require a degree.
That's right. You've got it right. That's right.
Okay. So these are some of the jobs that they're predicting in the next 5 to 10 years that will be hiring in Fresno County. But notice that these are total number of jobs in the next 10 years. So for physician assistants, each year there will be 26 more jobs in the Fresno County. So this is one thing to remember if you are looking for a job soon, that you will be competing with a lot of other people. It will be a good idea to kind of broaden your search and look outside of Fresno County too.
Yeah, let me talk. Can you go to the next slide, Damian? I think that's a super important point. because everyone looks at growth rates. So looking at this slide, the growth rate in Fresno County over the next 10 years, and by the way, I want you to know EDD is 2016 to 2026 is the 10-year span. BLS, which is at the federal level, is 2018 to 28. And the reason for that is the county has to feed the national level, so there's a 2-year lag. So we didn't get our dates wrong there. It's the way the data works. So the county level feeds the state level, which feeds the federal level, just so you know. But I want you to take a look at this slide. So software development, there's an increase of 30%. You think, oh, wow, I should go into software development. But that's 90 openings over 10 years. So that's 9 positions. So when you think of that, you know, there's thousands of Fresno State students graduating, you got to be careful. Look at biology. There's a 14.3% increase. But biological scientists, we only need 10 in Fresno County over 10 years. That's 1 per year. We graduate hundreds of biology majors every year. So what is that telling you, students? It's telling you you need to broaden your geographic searches of jobs. My own son was a biology major, and looking at this data, he knew getting a job in biology in Fresno was going to be really difficult. And so he looked outside of Fresno and looked in various industries and found a job that way. Now, nurses, look at nurses. So they're only a 12.8% increase, but we need 920 of them. So divided by, that's 100 nurses a year. So the other thing is too, with a lot of these openings, they're not all entry-level openings. So when Damian and I look at openings for Fresno County, that's all openings, including people with experience. So that brings the numbers down even more. So, you know, beware, Fresno State students, don't limit yourselves to Fresno County only. Because what we're finding from the outcome survey is some of our students are underemployed. They're doing jobs that don't require bachelor's degrees because they're limiting their job search just to Fresno County, or, you know, the 5-county region near Fresno, where there could be really good jobs in another state. I hate to tell you, but the West Coast is not the best place to get a job right now. There are better jobs in the Midwest and the East Coast. If you look at by state, California's hurting because of the whole tourism, you know, Hollywood, all of that has been greatly impacted by COVID. So but our saving grace is technology and the Silicon Valley. Okay, Damian, I think the next one is yours with the number of most openings in Fresno County.
This is an interesting look at the jobs with the highest number of openings in Fresno County. Again, one thing to note is that this is a 10-year projection. So then in 10 years, it's projected that there will be 4,760 registered nurse openings. And this includes entry level and you need experience for. But one thing to note as you look at this list, and it continues in the next page, is that all 8 of our colleges are represented here. So all the jobs that are needed in the next few years, all of our students will be qualified for for these jobs. There's engineering, there is finance, there's education, there is accounting, there is graphic designer, and there's all sorts of different positions that are social workers. So all of these would be for all of our students that are for all of our 8 colleges.
Yeah, and I think another point to make there, let's look at, he's got agricultural inspectors up there. You don't have to be just from ag to apply for that job. Sometimes science majors, like my son got into the wine industry through a science degree, not an enology degree. So we really want you to think kind of out of the box. Yes, if you want to be a teacher, you have to have a very specific degree. If you want to be an accountant, if you want to be a mechanical engineer, if you want to be a nurse, I mean, you have to get an RN. But some of these jobs, like a loan officer, you could be in psychology, you could be in sociology, you could be in anthropology because you understand people. So what we really try to do in our office is help you kind of think out of the lines of a box of a major, and to know that there are a lot of industries that hire lots of different majors. which is really important. That's why it helps really to see a career counselor to have that conversation. Damian, can you go to the next slide? So again, I just want to reiterate that in Fresno County, the prediction is, and this came from EDD, that between 2016 and 2026, and already we're 4 years into this, there'll be 526,290 new jobs projected in the next 10 years. Of those, 58,000 or so will be for bachelor's degrees. That equates to 11% of all new jobs generated in Fresno County will require a bachelor's degree. A lot of people are kind of shocked by that. But again, that's why geographic location, you sometimes need to broaden that geographic location when you think about finding a job after graduation to be successful. So just want to make sure that that's clear to everyone. So let's move futuristically. I'm kind of watching the time here. So futuristically, have any of you met Flippy? Anybody know who Flippy is? Flippy flips burgers, and that's all Flippy does. So Flippy's a robot, and we're going to be seeing Flippy in a lot of fast food restaurants. So I think the question in everybody's mind right now is, with artificial intelligence, machine language, automation, digitization, will there be no jobs for anybody in the next 50 years because everything's going to be taken over by machines? This week I listened to a TED Talk called Jobs We Will Lose to Machines. And I forget the author. It's pretty easy. You can Google it and find it. It's a really short video. And this scientist said the jobs we will lose to machines will be those that are repetitive, high volume types of jobs. Actually, the jobs nobody wants, right? Who wants to flip burgers all day long? I mean, you don't want a career flipping burgers, right? So it's okay to have a Flippy, but we would be working side by side. And what humans can do best are novel tasks that require higher level of thinking, critical thinking, judgment, all those soft skills that we are really trying to embed in college classes. No matter what your major is, you are probably getting those critical thinking skills. So let's look at the next slide. I read an article of 52 jobs of the future, and I thought this would be kind of fun for you to see. These are jobs that you will work side by side with a machine. For example, an AI-assisted healthcare technician actually goes into your home with machinery and reads your blood pressure like they do now, and can actually kind of teleport your vitals to another place, and a human will evaluate to determine what your illness might be. So an earthquake forecaster, a waste engineer, a digital tailor. So you're gonna shop, but you're gonna shop online, and they're actually gonna measure your body parts to see how to best find clothing to fit you. Or how about a virtual store Sherpa? We call them personal shoppers now, but in the future, that's a potential job. Esports is a emerging career. So an esports arena builder, a data trash engineer, a machine risk officer, or how about a flying car instructor? How cool is that? So those of you with children at home, you're probably reading the job board of the future, especially like Damian. How old is Emma, Damian? About 7 or 8? 7. Yeah, imagine what Emma's going to be doing 20 years from now. Isn't that going to be cool to think about? So cool to think about. So let's move on to the next slide. Those are our jobs of the future. When you look at those jobs, and this is for faculty as well and staff, community members, what we're really looking for in building our students while they're in college is 3 skill sets that a lot of the data analytics career development like MC and Burning Glass is suggesting that jobs of the future are going to require 3 skill sets that everyone's going to need to have. One of them is human skills. They need to critically think. They need analytical skills. They need to be creative. But because of automation, we also need digital building blocks. We need to analyze data. We should know basic computer programming. We should know software development. We certainly need to know digital security and privacy with cybersecurity and that issue. Interestingly enough, everyone needs just a little bit of business. And it's not because I'm biased, because I was once a business faculty member, but it is true. My own son minored in business while he was at Fresno State, and he said that actually paid off out in the workplace. Knowing a little bit of project management, knowing a little bit about communicating data, and knowing basic business processes. So that's really important for students to take a look at. And if you don't have those skill sets, what could you do now while you're in college to gain those skill sets? I have to honestly say, again, I'm going to be biased, having been the internship director for the School of Business for 15 years. Internships, community members, it's all about internships. They make a huge difference in our students' lives when they graduate. In fact, studies show that when they ask employers, what's the #1 thing you want students to have in addition to their degree? It's they should have done an internship to gain real-world experience. So hoping that we've got out there that can help provide those to us. Next slide, Damian. So back to human skills again. Machines and humans will work together. Jobs are not going away because these are the skills we have as humans that machines can't do. They don't have emotional intelligence. They don't have judgment. It's those novel tasks that only you can do. So there will be jobs in the future. They're going to look different than they do today, but I don't want you to be discouraged. We're here to be your cheerleaders. There are going to be jobs in the future. So what is it that we can provide for you in the Career Development Center? Damian, do you want to quickly show that video? And then if we have time, we'll do the slides. But if not, the video really recaps what we do in the Career Center for our students. And we show this at Dog Days every summer. Are you able to pull that up, or am I springing something on you? Poor Damian, he's been doing slides for me all day today, and I'm bossing him around. I'm sorry.
So this is our website. It's a great place to kind of look and explore, and there are lots of resources on there. And let's watch this video real quick that will highlight some of them.
College can be a big, confusing place. You're given all of this advice and opinions about what you should do. But what do you want to do? College is the place to explore who you are and decide what you want to do. And that's where we come in. The Career Development Center has highly trained counselors, advisors, coaches, and peer mentors ready to assist you with all aspects of your career exploration and planning. The first place to start is with our Career Cafe during open hours. Our career peer mentors, who are current Fresno State students, can provide you with resources and show you online tools to get started. They can even help you get started on your resume. Don't know what you want to major in? Choosing a major can be easy with the Career Development Center's help. Here you have full access to a broad range of assessments to help you explore your personality, skills, interests, and workplace preferences. Career Center staff can help you explore your options and narrow down your career choices, or help you plan for grad school. Your chosen major can lead to many different career choices. We can show you job outcomes, salary information, and the job outlook in different locations for all majors. Wondering if you need experience before you graduate? Of course! Employers often look for that when hiring new college grads. Landing a great job to make some extra money or gain experience in your field is a snap when you go to the Career Development Center for help. We can also give you advice and guide you on internships in your major or field. We offer webinars, events, and classroom presentations throughout the academic year to develop and expand your career-ready skills. We also have a great online job board where you can look for jobs both on and off campus, full-time or part-time, and internships too. We can help you polish your resume, write a cover letter, and build your interview skills. I know. Interview skills? At the Career Development Center, we can do one-on-one mock interviews, or you can use one of our virtual platforms to work at your own pace in the comfort of your own home with immediate feedback on how you did. We'll even make sure you are dressed for success. The Fresno State Professional Clothing Closet, located inside the Career Development Center, offers professional pieces of clothing donated by our campus and local community. You can take up to 3 professional items, plus accessories like ties, shoes, or jewelry. And the best part? It's free to all Fresno State students. Soon enough, you'll be ready to show off your career-ready skills, and our career fairs and networking events with companies are not to be missed. They are great places to explore career options, find an internship or a job, or just meet professionals or alumni out in the industry. So stop by. The Career Development Center is located in the Frank W. Thomas Building, room 103, by the Rose Garden. Go to our website at fresnostate.edu/careers for our 24/7 online services. And like us on social media to stay up to date with all of our upcoming events and opportunities. We are here to make sure you are successful while in college and beyond.
So I think, of course, a lot of our services are virtual right now. And all of that, except for the clothing closet, you can still access. All of our career counselors are doing one-on-one Zoom meetings with students, making an appointment. And also you can stop by our virtual cafe. So if you look here on our website, you can see right here on the banner here, you can click on this link, just basically click on this image, and it will take you to our Zoom virtual cafe where a career peer mentor is ready to answer any questions that you have, help you schedule an appointment with a career counselor, and even quickly review your resume. So that's a great place to kind of go and stop by. And then also our career fair. Usually we have a big career fair in the fall with 180, 200 employers at the Safe Mart Center. Of course, now that's not possible, but we're going to be doing that virtually. And this year, we're going to have 3 smaller industry centered virtual fairs. So you can see the dates on there. And if you have any questions, feel free to email. And we're always ready to help you.
Yeah, I don't know. Are there any questions? I see that our 3 question rangers have been feverishly answering questions on the chat feature. They've been answering them individually. Sheila or Alita or Jody, is there any you want us to publicly, answer?
I think you covered it. There was one about robots and replacing positions that you covered. You might want to just mention, Debbie, more about that. Even though we may be replaced with robots, there'll still be other positions.
Yeah, robots, somebody has to engineer those robots and somebody has to do the analytics. So the beauty is that humans still have the higher level skills, and that futuristically, they're saying humans and robots will work side by side. One will not replace the other. So that's the prediction now. I mean, stay tuned. 50 years from now, we'll see where we're at. So. And Damian put up our upcoming events. We have some boot camp coming up. We've got our job fairs coming up. We do also money management. We didn't even cover that today, but we have a money management center as well. And we have an Unleashed portal in our office as well. Mendy, is there anything else you wanted us to cover? I want to make sure I give you time to close.
Well, actually, this has been fantastic. And the information, we have just really skimmed the surface. There's so much. To all the students out there, please take advantage and contact the Career Services Center. It is a development center. There is so much available. It's current information, it's practical, and they really can help you as you go through your years at Fresno State, but also prepare you for great success post-graduation. If this presentation will be uploaded on our website at the Lyles Center, and I think hopefully maybe at the Career Services as well. But you can access this video, and so please share the information, tell your fellow students that it is available. But more importantly, please stop by and see the team. They are exceptional. And I think oftentimes, well, when I say stop by, please do it virtually until we can do it in person. I continue to be impressed. And I think one of the slides I really particularly liked was the skill set slide, because I think so often we get so narrowly focused in silos that we forget that the skills that we can develop in any of our disciplines can transfer over to a multiple of industries and opportunities. And it's really important to look at those skill sets. So that's a slide that I think, or information that the students might want to take another look at. But thank you, everybody. I mean, especially Debbie and Damian. Debbie, I'm your biggest fan and have been for years. And Damian, it's so nice to know that you're there. I hope you connect with many of our community members after this event. To the students, thank you so much for taking the time to being with us today. To the faculty members, we couldn't do it without your encouragement, and to the community members. We always need more community members to participate, so spread the word as well. For the next year, until fall of 2021, we will be virtual given the current state of knowing that Fresno State will be virtual not only this fall, but in the spring. So we are going to continue to think of ways to bring you great value by Pay It Forward, and stay tuned for that. We will make sure that if you registered for today's event, you will get notices about upcoming ones. But it's great to have had you today. I hope that it's been meaningful, and have a great rest of the day, and look forward to not only getting more Zoom webinars from Pay It Forward, but if you have an opportunity and want to look at the video that were done on this last summer on our Fresno leaders, please look back at the Lyles Center website, and you can download those interviews as well. So thank you very much for coming today.
Thank you, Mendy.
Thank you.